Hello YouTube. So today I'm going to talk about the Pakistan tour, the Australian tour to Pakistan, and I'm going to talk about the squad. So we had an 18-man squad released today. Now I'm not going to worry about, obviously, the first 11 were the 11 that played in the last Ashes test, so no issues about that. I'm going to talk about the 7 reserves. Now, I'm sort of and the one that wasn't in the reserve, so that's Jai Richardson, and the only reason I can think of him not being in the reserve is because of injury issues. So otherwise, I'd think it'd be obvious he would be. So 11-man squad, pretty stable. They may well be the only people that ever play, and that's going to be, so we've got Usman Khawaja, David Warner, Marnus Labuschagne, Steve Smith, Travis Head, Cameron Green, Alex Carey. That's 7. Then Pat Cummins, Mitchell Starc, Scott Boland, and Nathan Lyon. So they're the 11. Now the 12th one is Josh Hazlewood, who's essentially our 4th fast bowler or backup fast bowler, but he may well end up replacing Boland depending on how things go, or one of the other ones because maybe they get tired. I mean, Boland, yes, he had a good couple of tests, and I mean, I'd certainly be giving him another go, but I'm still sort of not sure if that's his real form or if that's just his start. I mean, I get a bit nervous about people when they're first starting off and they suddenly have a couple of great games, and then we think that's going to be what they're always going to be like. And but look, certainly you'd play Boland to start with. You've got Hazlewood, great bowler, certainly in great form, but recovering from an injury, and he's your backup, so he's 12th. Then they've got Ashton Agar and Mitchell Swepson, so they're 2 bowlers, 2 spin bowlers. Now Ashton Agar bats a bit, Mitchell Swepson doesn't. And Mitchell Swepson's more of a genuine spin bowler, while Ashton Agar's a bit more of a spin bowling all-rounder. And I think there's going to be some pace and spin in Pakistan. They have pitches that are good for pace and spin bowlers. It's not like India, which is all spin. It's going to be a bit of both. So, we do need to have our pace bowlers, but we also do need to have some spinners. So they're 13 and 14. Now we've got 4 more. Now Josh Inglis is a bit of an interesting one. So he's essentially there as the backup wicket keeper, because a few concerns that Alex Carey may not be quite consistently good enough for Test. Now, of course, his Test debut was like the best Test debut of any wicketkeeper in history, but then the other 4 weren't quite as good. So Josh Inglis is there, and I have some concerns about whether Josh Inglis is our second best wicketkeeper. I think, we're forgetting about a certain Matthew Wade, but, whatever. He's there, and I think Inglis is also there as a spare batsman. So we've gone there, we've got 12, 13, 14, he's 15. So 15. Then we've got 3 more. Now, who were the other ones? Oh yeah, so we had Marcus Harris. And we're going, what? What's he doing there? Very strange one to me to have Marcus Harris there, but he's there. And presumably, I can't think of any reason why he's there, but he's there as a spare opener, and presumably Usman Khawaja will open. But if he completely stuffs up and we decide, well, we want to have people that are normal openers, then Harris is there, and that's the only reason I can think to have him there. And then we have Mitchell Marsh, and this is a strange one. I can't see any reason why we'd need to have Mitchell Marsh there. And he's there, I guess, as backup for Cameron Green, or in case we want to play an extra fast bowling batsman that can bowl a bit of pace. Don't really understand what he's there for, because he has a bit of a Cameron Green-like role, but he's not as good a batsman and he's not a good bowler. So this is just in case Green gets injured. I don't know why we need him. Then we've got Michael Neser. So Michael Neser's the last one. He's obviously a fast bowler who bats a bit. And, some people have said, well, actually, Pat Cummins and Mitchell Starc are better batsmen than him. So, in my mind, the 2 that seem the bizarrest are Mitchell Marsh and Marcus Harris. And Marcus Harris, obviously, because whose batting was so bad, I can't see any reason why we'd consider him. And I would have thought if we're going to have a spare opener, we'd pick Will Pucovski. Of course, he has that concussion issue, but I would have thought he'd be there to get some experience. Can't understand any reason why Marcus Harris is there. And I mean, yeah, like one of the big criticisms of Justin Langer as a coach was that he persisted with Marcus Harris there, really bad judgment call, and then he's continuing. So yeah, I don't understand at all. Don't understand what he's doing there. I don't understand the purpose of Mitchell Marsh. I mean, perhaps it'll give us some flexibility if we want to go all spin and then we want to have some pace bowling options. So perhaps we're going to have Green and Mitchell Marsh as the sole pace bowlers. We'll also be batting. And then what, we play 4 spinners? But we've only got 3 spinners on tour. Or maybe then that means we just then play 3 spinners. We want to have 3 paces. I don't understand Mitchell Marsh's role. I don't understand what he's there in the squad to do. I mean, unless it's in case Green gets injured. It's just easier to have him in the bubble. That's the only thing I can think of, is if Green get injured and then we have Mitchell Marsh there, and perhaps Marcus Harris is there in case somebody, the opener, Usman Khawaja gets injured or something. Josh Inglis is presumably there as cover for Alex Carey. So, look, I'm not expecting any of those 3 to play a single match. I think Michael Neser might not play, but he might. But I think the other 14 probably will play. So I'm expecting Mitchell Swepson and Ashton Agar to play at least a few matches. And I'm expecting for Josh Hazlewood to play a few matches. Otherwise, I think that we'll have those 11, unless there's some injuries. And if there's injuries, then we go for the others. So Hazlewood could play even if there's no injuries. Swepson and Agar could play even if there's no injuries. The other 4, so Inglis, Mitchell Marsh, Marcus Harris. Oh wait, who else is there? Anyway, those 3 at least. They will only play if there's injuries. And Michael Neser probably will only play if there's injuries. He might play, but he might not. They're really injury coverers, those 4. But yeah, I mean, there's no guarantee that either Swepson or Agar will play. They might not, but I think they will. Agar's got a good record in the subcontinent, and he hasn't played in Pakistan, obviously, but I think there's a good chance he'll do all right. And Swepson, I mean, he's been in good form. So, and there might be a time when we want to play 2 frontline spinners, so he could play. But yeah, so we've got 4 injured covers, 3 backups, and our front 11. And, or 3 that could replace. So 2 extra spinners and 1 extra pacer. Gives a bit of flexibility with bowling. And we've got our 4 backups who are unlikely to play unless there's injuries or, viruses. Anyway, so look, it's a reasonable squad. As I said, the one that I'm really confused about is Marcus Harris. I would have put Will Pucovski in there. The others make a bit of sense. Yeah. All right, that's it from me. Bye-bye.